Welcome to the Waterfowl Lease Podcast.
Thanks for the invite. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here. Matthew Wilson here.
Andrew Davenport. And we just came down here to talk some about dogs. Won't be hard to talk about that. A little bit about the upland, pointing dog training, versatile dogs.
The dark side. Stuff we don't talk about on here that often.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we're talking about dogs on here, it's mostly retrievers, so it's just super good to have you on.
Yeah. Hey, I was glad to be invited and excited.
So Andrew is kind of an upland dog purist now. I wouldn't say totally versatile because I guess you are, because a GSP would be considered a versatile dog,
absolutely.
Wouldn't they? Yeah.
I do still have a old black lab at home too.
Yeah.
I used to waterfowl hunt with. He's 11 and getting ready. Well, he's already at retirement.
Yeah.
Walks around the yard or about the extent of his life right now. But I do have the German short hair and a wire-haired pointing Griffon.
Yes, sir. See, those I'm going to say it more slang and hillbilly, I suppose, but most, like I would call them a Griffin.
Yeah.
But I guess the proper way is Griffon,
well,
right?
And I don't think there's necessarily a proper way. I mean...
Okay, well, I don't want to offend you now, Andrew. Just getting started here.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you could.
No, they're popular though, and I've actually had a bunch of them in for training, just like obedience lessons and stuff. And they're nice dogs.
Yeah, they have awesome personality.
Okay.
And I always found it at first, like before I ever met them in person, I always thought like they were just the weirdest looking dogs.
Yeah.
And I thought, why would anybody want one of those? And then I met them. And I was like, man, their personality is awesome. And when you see that, you have the personality, which kind of lines up with being a great home dog, a family dog. And then when you see their passion to go hunt birds, it's just gives you the chills. It's awesome to have. That's such a good mix.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that everybody that gets a dog nowadays, like at one point for sure it was, if you have a hunting dog, it stays in the kennel, lives outside, it can't be a good hunting dog if it lives in the house. And that's just not the way it is. I mean, people are far more accepting of dogs now, and it needs to be both.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And it's easy to be both. If you put, a little bit of consistency in your training, a little bit of consistency in exercise, and that automatically makes for a better house dog alone. You get that energy burnt when they're in the house, or not as destructive, or you know what I mean? I'm talking like if you haven't even done basic training, basic obedience.
Yeah.
Tired dog's a good dog.
For sure, man. I mean, I say this all the time to people. I'm like, when you think about their life, I mean, they're totally dependent on us for entertainment.
100%.
Most of the time. I mean, there's all kinds of money you can spend on toys and stuff, and they can play around with them in the house and chew bones and that. But really, we control when the door opens, whether they go outside or not.
Right.
And if they never get to leave their yard, I mean, when you think about this, if they never get to leave the yard, it's sort of a meager existence for them, right?
Absolutely.
So when you have a dog like what you have there with a Griffon, or any of your dogs, or like my dogs, I mean, they live a pretty darn good life.
Yes.
They were born and bred for a reason, and they get to do that.
Yeah.
And, lots of people have dogs that were bred for a purpose that may never get to do that. And that's okay, but they should have something.
Yeah, for sure. They almost have to have something to make a better quality of life, right? For you and that dog. I
think so. I mean, when I put it in my terms, I mean, when we talk about behavior, I try to attach that to humans as much as I can, just because it sometimes is relatable. I mean, behavior is behavior. I mean, they're not humans as much as we try to humanize them, but it's easier for us to relate. So when you think about that as a human and you say, okay, can you imagine? It's almost like being a prisoner, right? I mean, they have better lives now than they've ever had. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the amount of money that gets spent on dogs and their comfort level is out of this world, depending on the household. But realistically, they only have and get to do what we allow. So if you never got to leave the house or leave the yard, I mean, really think about that. I mean, your life wouldn't be as good as the neighbor's dog that's getting to ram around and go swimming and go for walks and things like that, you know?
Right. That mental stimulation alone from being outside and doing that stuff. And, you know, a lot of people get working dogs. It could be a bird dog, or it could be a retriever, whatever. And these dogs want to do stuff.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? I think the intention a lot of people have when they get these dogs is to do something, but it's easy to get to, you know, the newness wears off so quick, and
it's work.
Yeah.
But even with a pet dog, like today, I was saying to a lady, I was like, you know, she was having trouble with getting her leash on and off her dog. You know, every time I go to try to take the leash off or put the leash on, it's a battle, right? To get the leash on, I'm chasing the dog around, and then when I go to take the leash off, she rips her head out of the leash, and you know, I spend so much time messing around. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is all the way across the dog training platform. We always have to stay on track and not upset the lesson with something that happens like that. In those moments, I'm going to land the plane here in a second. Those moments, like, that's not the time to deal with that.
Right.
If you're on your way to go outside to go for a walk, catch the dog and put the leash on. Mm-hmm. But understand, you're going to do that every single day until you take the time that evening when you're calm, you've got more patience, the dog's had a walk, to sit down on the couch, do a little micro lesson, say, okay, I'm going to try to get 3 good repetitions of sitting the dog down, holding their collar, putting this leash on, and taking it off under control. Mm-hmm. And if we do that every day for 5 or 10 minutes, we just work on just that as a little micro session, that time at the door will be so much better. And that's extra work. Like, it's work upon work to have a well-trained dog, as you well know, mm-hmm. right? That's why there's not many around. Even the ones that we think are, oh, this dog is great, is super, super well-trained. Like, you know, maybe in certain situations, but a truly well-trained animal is well-trained in almost all situations.
Right, yeah.
Right? Not just at the house, you know.
And like I was thinking about this earlier, like, when you are training your dogs to be, whether if it's obedience or whether if it's pointing or retrieving, like, that is one step, is to add in different areas, like add in different smells, sounds, locations.
Factors.
Yeah, distractions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you advance, like, even on a basic level, we talked about this today as well. I'm like, even on a basic level, you can always advance. I'm like, today, it was windy today. Yesterday, we were able to be outside, which was super nice. Super windy up here today. It must have been blowing 40. The flag was straightened right out. And it's still a little bit cold, so we were back inside. And I said, in here, it's ideal conditions. You know, if you're training your dog just at a basic level we're talking about here, in the house, of course things are going to go well. There's nothing new there for the dog.
Right.
But the second you go outside and try to do those same things where there's factors around, new smells, sounds, the wind's blowing, a leaf blows by, those are all big factors for your dogs.
Yep.
Distractions. And this is why I say everything we do, regardless of what you're going to do with your dog, is crawl, walk, run.
Yep, absolutely.
You don't put the cart before the horse. You really take your time. And my main point of that was, with all my lessons today, because it seems to always be a thread or a trend, was that I used to rush. You see that program on the fridge there underneath, the Mike Lardy one.
Yep.
And I'm like, I put that on the fridge every time I get a new dog, and I check things off. And I remember when I started with Otter, I was like, okay, by the time this dog is 6 months old, we got to be in the field.
Yeah.
Okay, by the time she's 2, we got to have a master hunter and be working on a grandmaster hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, now, I don't care if the dog is 2 years old before it starts running a hunt test.
Right. Make the training specific to that dog, not to the program.
Yeah. I'm looking for the end result rather than how fast I can do it. Because, nobody cares if the dog is young when it does something if it's not good long term.
It's not like you get a bonus or a gold star.
Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. And if you build a dog young and you push it through too fast, I mean, if the dog is there and it can roll, hey, I mean, roll on.
Yeah.
But
if it's not, that's a risk too.
That's a major risk. Yeah. And again, at the end of the day, I'd rather have the dog that that rolls on great until it's, 10 years old and is successful all the way throughout its career, rather than saying, yeah, he's basically washed out at 1.5 because we rushed him and he's wild.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you do that, you develop negative aspects, or that it's your fault, the trainer's fault. These dogs get negative habits, and sometimes when you rush, you don't even realize it's happening until it's almost such a big issue you can't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no coming back, right? We make mistakes all the time, and then that's when, now with what you're venturing into doing, you'll probably see people.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, I've done it myself, and I'm sure you have too.
Oh, yeah.
It's just part of, like, we're human beings, and it happens. You may make a mistake, and got to figure it out.
Well, and here's the thing with that. I mean, you can dig a hole in the wrong direction. That's not great. But when people don't do anything at all, like if you wait till the dog is like 6 months old and then you say, well, I didn't want to screw it up, so I didn't do anything. I'm not actually sure which is worse, to be honest. I mean, at least if you did screw something up, I mean, depends on how bad it is, at least you've educated the dog some, and at least taught it how to learn.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's been through preschool and kindergarten. It understands what a lesson is, and things like that. But if they haven't done any education at all, like I did a video about education yesterday, and I'm like, any amount of education is better than none.
Oh, for sure. Even just the day-to-day routines and holding the expectations, like maybe you say their name before you release them to go eat, or they sit before they go outside. Like, that even lays a foundation of, there's expectations for everything you have to do.
No question. So before we get too far down the rabbit trail here, Andrew, I just wanted to get a little information from you on sort of how you got started, who you are, when you got started in the outdoors, what got you into dogs, all that stuff.
For sure. I didn't grow up hunting, so I was probably, I'm going to say 20 or 21 when I first was introduced to hunting, and I fell in love with it. I mean, everything there is to it, the outside, the smells, the season, the migrations. I mean, even like when you have your ruffed grouse for the first time, you shoot your first one, you get to eat it. And I mean, the whole process was just completely took over. So I had originally a chocolate lab, and I decided I would get it to train for duck hunting. And I was horrible at duck hunting. I was horrible at shooting. I didn't know anything about anything to make me better. So like, I feel like I went through the whole process of learning this is what you don't do to advance, to learn, like basically to get better, So after that, I did like upland hunting. I get my first German short hair, and the thoughts of being able to go with a dog in the woods and that dog find a bird, it's even still to this day, it's still like kind of blows my mind a little bit that they can do that.
What made you decide to get a dog? Had you been with somebody that had a dog?
No.
Is that right?
No. And like, this was even probably like likely before like YouTube was big.
Right.
And I think what originally got me wanting a dog was, I think I seen, is it the Super Series Retrievers?
Oh yeah, Super Retriever Series.
Yeah. I seen that. I just happened to catch it one time on TV, and I thought, that is so awesome.
Right.
And like, what better to have a dog that he's with you all the time, or she's with you.
Yeah.
You get to train it, you get to hunt together, and I just jumped right in.
Because when you think about the majority of people around here in our area, or in the province in general, they hunt big game, and they hunt what everybody calls partridge.
Right.
Which are rough grouse here. And other places, a partridge would be a Hungarian partridge. But most people don't use a dog.
No.
Many people that hunt waterfowl here don't use a dog. It's not as much of a trend as it is when you go south of the border, right? And we all know it's a thing. Like even in a lot of the old paintings, you'd see guys had dogs and whatever. But I would say the vast, vast majority of people hunting upland here don't have dogs.
Oh, definitely not.
Did you know anybody that had a dog that they hunted with?
No.
No. You just decided to get one.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Right on.
I did.
So
Yeah.
tell me about that. Like where did you get the dog? Like what made you decide to get that breed, and did you have a program or?
Well, I mean, at the time, I never had a program. But what drew me to the German short hair was, I would research different bird dog breeds, and I still remember, and this was like almost 20 years ago, I'm going to say, or maybe more.
Yeah.
Seeing a German short hair is what they called a SUD, sport utility dog.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, hey, like I can take that dog upland hunting and waterfowl hunting.
Right.
So that made me go with that breed, and I got it from Ontario. It's a kennel that's no longer open now, but
Wow.
so like that was the first dog I got that we had to fly.
That'd be a big deal, huh?
Yeah.
Certainly around here too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like for somebody to get a dog and fly it in from someplace and hunt with it.
And it took a long time. Like I lived upriver a little further at the time, but any time I would take this dog out for a walk, people would think, they'd stop and say like, "Is that a Dalmatian?" Because like you just never see that.
Yeah, sort of.
German short hairs now would just seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We're so much more connected now, and there is a bunch of them around, but I've had a bunch of them through, but still rare to see somebody hunt with one.
Yeah, it is. And so that chocolate lab and German short hair, I have lost. They've probably been gone for 7 or 8 years at least. So I have, for bird dogs right now, the GSP, a new one, also from Ontario, who's 7, and then my Griff that we just talked about, who's 4.
Yeah.
And I actually have another one coming, plan as long as the breeding goes through. I'll have it by late summer.
Another Griff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought if I'm going to get into training with other people, like I want to document a pup that I train, you know what I mean? The whole way through, like put my money where my mouth is and show like, you know, the progress. Like when you put the post up of you with your new pup healing beside you and all that stuff, like it was really, people are like, that is just crazy. But you know what? It's not that much. You know what I mean? You're working with what the dog already knows and knowing how to,
that's right,
how to lure it or, you know, set it up for success. Basically, it's not that big a deal, but it looks so awesome. And there's people who can do that with their dogs.
It gives you tremendous street cred.
For sure.
And you're right. I mean, I say this to people all the time, and you know, it makes people laugh because it is kind of a funny thing. I'm like, you know, when somebody brings me, and we're back, a little hiatus there, had some kids rolling around coming in from work, which is great to see kids that work nowadays.
Yeah, it is for sure.
If I could get them throwing birds for me more than once a month.
Yeah, and not having to pay them or offer them any incentive at all.
You will be fed supper tonight.
Or you could just do it because you want to.
Yeah.
But we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, just because you love me.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going to happen. So I wanted to talk about this new puppy that you're getting. So you're getting another Griff.
Yes.
Obviously, Griffs are kind of your jam. We were talking before about the other 2 dogs that you had and that you have a GSP and a Griff, and you know, you said you're getting another one. So what's the scoop on this new one?
So I'm getting it from the same breeder, and I guess there's no scoop other than right now. I mean, I was trying to decide if I did want a different breed or not, but for now, I'm going to go with another Griff.
So if you did get another breed for you personally, what do you think it'd be?
I was looking at the poodle pointers.
Okay.
And I'd like to meet and hunt over Hungarian wire-haired Vizsla.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There is something about those beards I like. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
I never used to, but now I do.
Now you're getting, So in the versatile dog world, would the Griff be like the more popular at this point, you think?
Probably.
I mean, to me, not being involved in that world, almost at all. I mean, I do help some of those people through my business and whatnot, but it seems like most of what I have come around are Griffs.
Really?
Yep.
And I think that's probably because there used to be a breeder in Fredericton.
Yep.
Close by. So that's probably why. But I wouldn't say Griffs are more populated than like a German short hair.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I never considered that. So maybe they'd be, for some reason, when I think about versatile dogs, I don't know why I don't put them in there, because they are, and probably one of the originals, really, as far as that goes, but I could be wrong.
I'd say you have some sort of issue with short hair.
Yeah, I do. You're right. Yeah, I used to definitely have short hair, not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to grow it while I can.
Well, the English pointers, I think, are technically also under the versatile umbrella.
Jeepers.
I think they are through NAVTA.
Holy shit, you say that out loud?
Yeah.
I feel like there's people
I'm quite sure they are. Well, and I mean, whatever. Like,
yeah. You know what? I
like the pointers. I mean,
too.
there's no, like, I'm not going to trash any breed. I like them all. I'd love to have one of every bird dog.
I said, if I see, like, I like your guys' dogs. They're super cool to me. Now, personally, myself, I like, for me, where I hunt waterfowl, if I was going to hunt any amount of upland, I would have a pointer.
Yeah.
Like, I like your dogs. I've hunted over yours. I've hunted over Wes's. I've hunted over Bob's.
Yep.
And, I don't know. My dogs are pretty high octane labs.
Yep.
Like, and when I think about those English pointers, like, their job is to find game and point it out.
Yeah, they cover ground.
Yeah, they're not interested much in swimming or doing anything else. Like, they're just going to cover ground and point game.
Not to say you can't with them, but
true.
I mean that is what they're known for, and they're good at it.
Yeah, and I just really, I know that's always been Bob's jam, and for me, I have always said that if I was going to do that more, that would be what I would do.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and when he was up that time, I was like, shit. If I'm like, Bob, if I ever get to a point where I would want one of these dogs, if you're still doing it, because I'm not into that. I don't do what you guys do. I don't claim to do it. When people come to me, I'm like, I'll help you out with your foundational obedience.
Yep.
Then you got to go, like, see Bob, or now that you're doing it, see you, and because it's totally different.
Yeah, and see, Robert, he's kind of, I don't know if he's done much with the versatility part of it. I know, like, he's A+ at, like, the pointing aspect of it, no question. Like, his reputation, you don't even have to see his dog or meet him. Like, he's A+, like, he's good.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he does anything else, like, for the versatile, like, tracking birds or...
I wouldn't say. I think he...
I don't think he does.
No, like for me, if somebody brought me a versatile dog, which they have, so I said obedience, but I guess in the past here, I have helped them with the retrieving aspect of it. But as far as anything else, like,
for sure,
I don't claim to know. I'm not involved in that, and you can only do so much. So,
yeah, it is. It's pretty fun.
So, now you've run some amount of tests with your dogs, huh? You've got into testing a little bit. What's how did you get started in that, and what kind of gave you the want or the passion to get into those things?
Well, the want was, I was nervous too, because, I mean, I was of the mind frame, and a lot of people are like this, like, I don't need somebody else to tell me if my dog is good or not.
Right.
But to me, I switched it around, and I thought, if I sign up for a test, that will hold me accountable so much more all summer.
Yeah.
And it did. Like, so I ran the NAVTA test, all the ones you can run locally. The next one would be, like, you'd have to travel somewhere to the States, and it's a pretty big deal.
So NAVTA is North American
Versatile Hunting Dog Association, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and, like, when you hear versatile dogs, it's usually under the NAVTA umbrella. Like, they have their own breeds that fall under versatile.
Okay.
Because, like, I mean, you could say, like, a lab is versatile, and they are very versatile. Yep. They just don't fall under the NAVTA versatile definition,
And fair enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I know we do that in hunt tests and field trials.
Yeah.
So...
Because you could hunt upland with a lab. People do it.
Yep. I always did.
And you could run
till I got these guys.
Yeah, and you could run retriever tests with a versatile.
Yeah, yeah. And like I say, I did like mom and dad's dogs. The British Labs are really good. Any British Lab that I've had, like Otter or Riley, or now even Ruby, all of those dogs are just much better at that. My dogs now are not made for that. Not being in the woods.
Yeah.
No. I took Tank woodcock hunting once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm never doing this
Really?
again. Oh, he fetched up on so many trees running full tilt. I'm like, he's going to kill himself. It's September. We haven't even started.
Yeah. It's not cut grain and corn stalks.
No, you can't run like you're actually in the woods.
Yeah.
Tank. There's branches, bushes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fetched. Bang.
Jeez.
Stopped, like hit a brick wall, and then just fell down, got back up. I'm like, this is not. But now, for pheasants, if we went to Hanscoms,
Yep.
I think they'd be, you know, the
or
tits.
for wild pheasants, you can hunt here now or Nova Scotia, and the hunting is so much different than grouse hunting
because they're really good at that. Like the upland portion of our tests, both of my big dogs love that because I mean, my dog's whole life is sitting still,
right,
not moving until it's time to go.
Yeah.
So when they get to do that part and they get to quarter, like they know what's going to happen, right? So as long as it was open ground, we could do it, but not in the woods.
So in that test, what's the expectation when the bird flushes? What's the dog supposed to do? Sit. Okay.
Yeah. They're stop moving.
Yeah.
So they could stand, but really, like when you blow your whistle, when the bird flushes, you're supposed to blow your whistle, and the dog's not supposed to make any momentum towards the bird.
Okay.
Basically.
And they use pheasants?
No, we use pigeons actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or dead ducks.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do that. They'll throw a dead duck out of a winger, which, it's not. That's kind of a
blurry lines.
Well, it's not straight across the country, right? Everybody kind of does it their own way, and some people enjoy that aspect of our testing system, and others really don't. I think it has a place if it's done properly. It just comes down to cost, right? Yeah. Even if you use pigeons, it's better than to me, it's better than using a dead bird. But I mean, it's what the clubs have available, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody has homing pigeons, and they have to use caught pigeons and whatever, and then they obviously fly.
Caught pigeons are pretty good. I mean, they're good flyers.
Yeah,
they stay alive for a living or attempt to.
Yeah. So it's a thing. At the National, we use real pheasants.
Okay.
We just can't.
Yep.
You can't shoot them here, right? So they I mean, it's all based on flush and them actually flushing. So, yeah. Anytime we go to a National, we use real pheasants. But I mean, obviously, that's a big cost for a weekend event. So we don't do that. But so in your events, like if I said, hey, I would love to. I see an ad for a NAVTA event. You said there's not many around here?
So through the NAVTA program, it starts out with the first one is called Natural Ability, which is typically for 18 months and younger dogs. And then you move up to what used to be called the Utility Preparatory Test. They changed that now to just gun dogs, so one element of that has changed.
Okay.
And then you go to the Utility Test, which is basically what they would say if you pass the utility test. NAVTA says you have a well-trained bird dog. Okay. Basically, depending on your score from the utility test, if you qualify, you can go to what's called the Invitational.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's typically it could be Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio, like.
Oh, because it's right. It's North American wide.
Yeah.
Right. I gotcha.
Yeah. And as you would know, as you go from one test to the next, the expectations keep getting higher as far as like steadiness, retrieving, steady to retrieve, obedience. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I think about that, like, and you have all those different aspects of training, like, okay, so what was the lowest one you called it?
Natural ability.
Natural ability. So you're taking an 18-month-old or younger dog out, and they're just pretty much showing their natural ability to.
Well, basically, yeah. There is criteria they have to meet. Like, it is still a pass test. Like, you could pass at different levels or not pass.
Obviously, you're going to bring the dog there with some amount of training.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that different people say different things. Like, it's called natural ability, so why would you? But I mean, at the same time, like, why would you have a dog that you haven't trained and then go test? I mean, it's
Right.
kind of up in the air,
Sure.
So within that natural ability test, they do have to show searching through a field for a bird and like show. I can't remember. It's been a couple years, but like show they don't have to point and be steady. Like the expectations aren't super high in that at all.
Okay.
So if the bird, like when the bird flushes, it can run or whatever. Like these are just young dogs. They have to show that they can swim. Like that's it. Just throw a bumper out and it has to swim a certain amount.
Okay.
Like very minimal.
Right.
They have to track a pheasant as well.
Okay.
It's a live pheasant that's had some feathers pulled so it can't fly away.
Right. And they just kind of let it go in the grass?
Yeah. So they'll basically let it go in a field.
Okay.
And have those feathers in the field. So when you bring your dog up, smell the feathers, and then that dog is expected to find or show like it's working to find that bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it a new pheasant for every dog?
No.
It's the same pheasant.
It was the same one in the test I took. But I've only done that one natural ability test.
Okay. And they'll just put new feathers or not new feathers at all?
No.
Okay. So if you were the first dog, it'd be pretty hot scent.
Well, it would be, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But and like I say, like the run for this bird is not very far. It's basically down through a field and then just break cover.
Right.
So it could be woods or it could be like taller grass, and you don't have like dogs don't have to find the bird, but they have to show that they're looking for the bird.
Right.
Yeah, where it's so young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And then the next step would be?
The next step now is called the gun dog test. So that would be you have to show the dog can still search the field, find birds, and be steady to point. So the marking or judging, I guess, is a little less intensive as opposed to the next level up. The dog points, I mean, they may break on the flush and still pass.
Okay.
And you can verbalize more in that test with your dog. One thing they do appreciate a lot is like not constantly yelling out commands and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because it kind of takes. I do like that part of it. I'm not one who does that.
Right.
I don't talk to my dog a lot in the woods. So for tracking a bird in this one, they track a duck that has been like a dead duck, and they just drag it through a field, and the same thing into like they'll put it at an angle when they go into cover, and the dog has to go in and find it and retrieve it. And they also have water retrieval for a dead duck.
Okay.
So one thing they used to have when I did it is you'd have at least an acre pond, I think it was, or 3 acres. I can't remember what it was, like down in Sunpoke, yeah. And they'd put a dead duck out, and then when you bring your dog to the line, the judge will say fire one way or another, and you send your dog out, and it's supposed to show it can search for 10 minutes for that dead duck.
Really?
Yeah. And that was, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't test because that was such a hard thing to train for.
Yeah.
And it's not really, NAVD is like a German, like the German testing. So I asked questions because I said, like, what does this have to do with any way that we would ever hunt here? And they said a lot of times the concept would be a bunch of people go in to hunt a pond and bring the dogs in after to retrieve all the birds.
I gotcha.
So I don't even know like if people still do that. I have no idea.
I gotcha. So then they would want the dog to totally cover the area.
Right. Yeah.
I gotcha.
And
because when you said that, and I've heard of that before, like
Yeah.
I've had clients here that talked about doing that, and at times I remember starting to get into hunt tests, and I remember the poison bird aspect. And I'm like, what the hell would you want to do that for? Now I totally understand it because we do it every day. But when it comes down to that, I was like, what the hell? You know, because it's supposed to be like, really, it's not a field trial. It's a realistic situation.
Yeah.
You know, that you would get into in hunting. So that's good you brought that up, because I did wonder that about the 10-minute search.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I mean, it does make sense as well, because, like, when I'm going, like, if I go to meet Wes or somebody else to go upland hunting, sometimes I'll be, like, on my way a little bit earlier than planned, and I'll actually stop and walk into ponds I know on purpose so I can shoot a bird, like jump shoot, and then go get the dog out and send them.
Right.
Yeah.
Let them
Right.
find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about it that way, like, it does make sense. And I mean, for a dog to have that level of perseverance, it's not easy to really train. Like, there is some things, and actually I was just listening to a podcast and they were talking about that, the perseverance in a dog and staying in the area and letting them hunt. And the topic was in field trials how they sometimes allow dogs to do what we would call a big guerrilla hunt. So, like, the dog's out there just, you know, really searching and hunting and whatever, and you know, trying to cover the area and might not even be in the area. And the sort of the premise of the conversation was like, what's better at that point?
Right.
To allow the dog to do the big gorilla hunt and ram around and hunt for 10 minutes looking for it, or to stop the dog and handle it. And when it's a mark, I won't get off on a big tangent, when it's a mark, like a bird that's thrown, really, you don't want to have to help the dog, because the dog should have seen it.
Right.
And should go get it.
Yep.
But if it's on a multiple and the gun is actually hidden, there's lots of factors there. You know, in a hunting situation, like, probably the best thing to do would be to handle the dog, and that's what you would do. But in a competition, which one's better?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Right.
But in that aspect of teaching perseverance, like, for myself, that's one of the things that I notice in dogs that's very different for each and every dog.
Yeah.
How much perseverance they have.
Even within individual breeds.
100%, man. When one year, when I had the dog truck there, and I had my whole kennel was full of Yorkton dogs.
Yeah.
From PEI. My truck was just like a fucking rocket ship.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I had one dog on there that was kind of I called her a bit of a misfit. She was a great little dog, but she just had zero talent.
Yeah.
I'll say, didn't come from any bloodlines or anything, like, and the rest of them did, right? Like, had royal bloodlines to do the job, and this dog really didn't have any.
Yes.
It was the right breed, but that was it.
Yeah.
You know, grandparents never picked up a bird. Anyway, shit, I remember the first time I took that dog out and I threw a bird out of a winger, and man, the grass was short. It was this time of year, and I had just freshly gotten her force fetched, and that bird wouldn't have been 80 yards. I threw that up in the air. You could see it the whole way. It's a big Drake mallard. Bang. Big, nice big arc. Bang. And hit the ground. You could almost see it from the line. And that dog got out there about 65 yards, getting on 70. Did one fighter sweep.
Really?
Yep. And a big complete 180 and ran back. Never even slacked her. And started back to me. And I've only had that happen to me a few times in my career, but I can tell you, it's one of the things that I've figured out that I have zero patience for.
Yeah.
So anyway, God bless her.
How old was that dog?
I met her about, she was just over a year.
Really?
Yeah, just over a year, yeah. Yeah, she came to me late, and God bless her, she had a personality that just kill you. She was super funny. You laugh at her you couldn't help but laugh at her. And she always, kind of showed up with a good attitude.
Yeah.
But
things just weren't clicking.
Well, just at the start, she just didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to try, basically, is what I put it down as. I mean, I met her halfway out there, and she was coming back, and I'm like, okay, I realize that you're not like the rest of the dogs on the truck, but the thing is, you watch that fall out there.
Yeah.
You got to bring it back. You know?
She had no depth perception or something.
You got to, I'm like, you could screw it up all day. I say this all the time. I'm like, they can screw it up all day long. As long as I know they're trying.
Yeah.
I've got tons of patience.
Yeah.
But if you don't try, or you're working hard not to try, I don't have any patience for that. So anyway, we got it worked out, and she ended up getting a junior hunter title that year and did a great job, and got a couple extra passes as well, just because I ended up having to keep her a little bit longer, and I was at a test, and she did it. Never failed the test.
Really?
That dog, yeah. Yeah, she's a great little dog. I'll never forget her. But she was kind of like the bad news bears when we started out. But just on the conversation of perseverance, I'm like, I figured out that you can actually train perseverance because we worked on it. I'm like, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're gonna stay in the field until you find it. So we did. I made drills specifically for her to search and hunt the ground.
I find that a lot. I adjust. You know what I mean? So I keep a logbook for my training all year.
Yeah.
And I write down what we did that day. Mm-hmm. I write down.
That's good practice.
I write down what may have been a distraction or what might have been an issue. And I write down what I want to do a little bit different next time. But we're always trying to progress. And if something doesn't work out, then we always take that step back, and I can go back to where we were a day before, 2 days before.
Mm-hmm. And you theme your week.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So and just quickly here, I'll tell you how I do mine because it's similar. Keeping notes, and I've mentioned this to people. Even doesn't matter what you're doing with your dog, you should keep notes. It's just a good reference always, and it holds you accountable.
Yeah.
So what I do is I would start out on a Monday. Okay, we're easing into the week. And we're just beginning to teach something new. Like we're coming off the weekend. I don't train on the weekends. We ease into the week. Okay. Tuesday we're definitely on the way to teaching something new. Okay. Wednesday I want to be starting to get a decent handle on it. Mm-hmm. Thursday we should have a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Friday is the therapy day.
Okay.
Friday I don't try to beat them up or blow them up or do anything. Like and as the year goes on, when you look at your calendar, each one of those weeks, has a theme, and we're just, as we go along, if we take the theme that we learned at the start of May for a certain concept, possibly by the end of May, we're working on that same theme again, but it's something harder.
Right.
And when you plan things ahead and you keep notes, it totally helps you be successful.
It does.
You're not just punching in the dark.
And you know what else it does is it shows you how far you've actually come, you and the dog. So one thing I do like about the versatile dogs is my weekly training plan. I don't train the same thing 2 days in a row,
right?
Because I don't want to burn them out on one thing and make them not like it. So like Monday could be a drill with live birds, like pointing related. The next day could be marks with the zinger out in a dry field. The next day could be dead duck drags, where I hide the dead duck out in the field and they go find it, track it. And then the next day could be water work.
Right.
So like we always have something different going on. And I've made the mistake before focusing on one thing too much. And I mean, you learn as you go, right? So
yeah, and when I think about like how I actually structure my individual days, at least once a day, I'm going to work on a fundamental drill for me that should help me out with the field setup that I'm doing that day. And a lot of times I'll do 2 drills a day.
Yeah.
So like tonight, if usually say if I do a drill in the evening, it'll be, something simple. Again, it's the end of the day. I'm not trying to blow their brain up, but it's a good way for me to end the day, like on a therapy level.
Right.
Because I'm always thinking about the dog's attitude. So when you're talking right there, I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's got at least 2 or 3 days a week that he's using birds.
Yeah.
And if he's using live birds for pointing, that you can't beat that for a dog. They want birds is like always an ante up, like it has so much more value.
Yeah, for sure. But you can do too much.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. No question. Yeah. There's got to be balance.
And I always, with the one consistent thing with every day, regardless of what we're training, is obedience from the truck.
Right.
As soon as that the kennel door opens, it's obedience. Like, there's no jumping out of the truck. Like, if we're going for a walk or biking or something like that, different. But like when I'm training with a purpose, as soon as we get out of the truck, I expect heel beside me. You know, I'll let them go do their business, obviously, something like that. But I expect complete obedience. So I'm teaching the dog, when we start with obedience and you are successful, that's when the fun things come. Instead of pounding out obedience during the session where you should be focusing on your agenda.
Well, we talked about that earlier, and that's a great example again of staying on track.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the other point about that should be made too, that's a great point that you bring up, is when you're doing a formal lesson with your dog, the way that your dog comes out of the truck tells you a lot about how your session's going to go.
Yep.
And if we're not formal about that, like when you come out of the truck, like I used to be, and I still am, super critical of how my dogs get off the truck and come to the line.
Mm-hmm.
So when I show up to a training session, it's super important to me how my dogs come out of the truck and come in to heel. Like, I have a standard for how they do that. When I had the dog truck, it was how they came down the ramp. Like, if I had a dog that came down the ramp and was supposed to come in to heel, and they came down the ramp and kind of went past me, like even a foot, and looked at what was going on in the field and then came in to heel, that shows me right there, right away. That's your tell. Okay, that dog's not with me today. And they're not. I mean, it can be at a macro level like that. That's a pretty big tell. So back on the truck until you do it right. And it's the same thing with the truck I have now. I take them out of the gunners. They, you know, when I open their door, they're supposed to be sitting. They come to the edge of the tailgate. They sit down. I pick them up, put them on the ground, and they come in heel and sit down. Then I put their e-collar on, and, you know, I'll walk them a ways, let them air. Then we go to the holding blind under control. And you're absolutely right. Like, if you take your dog out and they just fly out of your vehicle and you're chasing them around, and then when you're on your way to the line, if they're a total mess, like that's a good...
Yeah, now you expect perfection, or now you expect them to be good?
Right. What is your standard?
So whose fault is it when they don't succeed?
Totally, man. I mean, with our dogs, regardless of what you're doing, ownership for you should be everything that dog does is a reflection of my training.
Yeah.
It's totally 100% my fault.
Yeah, and there will be things that happen where they don't understand, or they're just, like you say, having a bad day.
They're dogs.
But I mean, that's where I benefited from keeping the notes. So when I go back to do the same thing next time, I'm going to start out with something, the same thing, but a little bit easier.
Yeah, you've got a solid
Set them
reference.
up for a win.
Yeah, and again, when we talk about basics and time and building a good foundation, I mean, when people come to me for retriever training lessons, nobody wants to hear, okay, we got to slow down here and actually go back a few steps. These are the parts of your program that weren't done well enough that we now have to do again. Like, you can't run a solid blind because your dog won't sit well on the whistle. Yeah. It's got a loopy sit. It runs an extra 10 feet and then slows down. It's off the line. Like, okay, we have to go back to yard drills and get that cleaned up, or else you're never going to really run a successful blind. And, you know, as we go along, those things are important. But
well, and, you know, it's relatable too for you doing your guiding and stuff, and like where I've guided with Wes. Like, you know, when you bring the dog out of the truck, you don't want it running up to your clients. Yes, I mean, at some point they're going to want to pet the dog and whatever, but you don't want it acting crazy at first. You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, like, maybe there's clients who maybe haven't hunted over a dog. So now we have a dog who's just kind of wild and free, a hunter who has a shotgun.
Right.
And to me, it just seems like a very avoidable
liability.
Risk.
Yeah. No question.
So, I mean, you know, the dogs will meet the hunters, there's no question, but like, we got to start out where you get the expectation for the dog and the hunter, then the clients now are actually going to realize, you know, I'm not just going to start stepping in and calling the dog and petting the dog. Like, we're here for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a time for that.
Yeah, that's super important. And you know, my guys all know, like when we're there, my dogs don't come out of the truck until we're walking back. They're not out running around while we're setting up, or they're there to hunt.
Yeah.
And you know, like you said, when they come back, they're under control.
Yeah.
You know, and there might be the odd guy that gets to touch them, but they're pretty business focused. You know?
And that takes a lot of thoughts out of their mind that might throw them off to the dogs.
Yeah.
You know, dogs, they do like to know what they have to do.
Yeah.
And not have to question it and run around. Like they like structure. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So your tests, we got to the second part about the gun dog.
Yeah.
And then we got talking, that's just how this happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We started talking about perseverance. Now here we are, an hour later. It's all good stuff. What's the next step after gun dog?
Utility test. So that would be, in the gun dog test as well, there is a level of obedience that you're judged on.
Okay.
In the utility tests, there's that same thing. Like, I believe it's off leash healing through like a little course.
Okay.
There's steady to the blind. When a duck gets tossed out of a zinger out into the water, shots are fired, the dog still has to stay steady. You're not right beside it. Like, you could be behind like the, what do you call the
holding blind? Mm-hmm.
But the dog's in front.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Remote sit.
Yep. So there's that. Mm-hmm. And then the whole pointing aspect for sure. Like the stakes are just much higher as far as what you're judged on. Steady to wing shot, fall. Verbally, you basically don't say much at all unless you have to, because the more you say, the points reflect that. And then there's the duck drag in that as well, which would be, I believe it was a further distance than what it was in the gun dog. And all of that is basically utility test. And there's always parts, I guess, where they judge like temperament and breed specific, like their teeth and stuff like that.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah. And I don't think that has anything to do with points. It's just done while they're there.
Okay.
So you want your dog to be able to stand still and have a stranger basically pet it and rub its mouth and open its mouth. And
really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I suppose. I guess that makes sense.
I assume from a breeder standpoint,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. They're really putting a lot of thought and onus into, you know, are these, okay, the dog can do the work, but is it going to be a well-mannered dog, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Could you take it to the vet and have them?
Yeah, that end, is there anything physically why this dog, you know, might be a red flag for breeding? I don't know.
Yeah, and realistically, like, there's really nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know when a dog makes it all the way through utility that it should be a solid dog to breed with if you were looking to do so. So what about, so is that the highest level?
That's the highest level. So there's one more, but I mean, that's the one that's down in the States typically. So that's the invitational.
Okay.
So if you qualify through the utility test, you get the notification you can go to the invitational if you choose.
Okay. So that would be like a national event.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's not a competition. It's just it's sort of like us with a hunt test.
Right.
It's just against the standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be the title if you got that one?
A versatile champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So VC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've probably heard of that.
I have not.
Really?
No,
yeah.
I didn't know. Well, I knew that there was like an invitational.
Yeah.
Like on the national level. I guess I just didn't know what the title would be.
Yeah. Oh, the duck search as well in the water for utility test also is done same as at the gun dog test, except utility has a live duck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So is that something that you're looking to do? I mean,
the invitational?
Yeah.
I would love to, but I mean, like, I'm not a breeder. I would love to just for the experience.
Yeah.
To be honest, but the cost to go do something like that would just be so high. By the time you get you and your dog there, pay the fee to enter, which, I mean, that would just be a minor part, but I mean, getting a place to stay, taking the time off work and I would love to at some point, but I mean, it's not necessary, you know.
I think it is necessary for you, Andrew.
Well, I'm looking for sponsors, I guess.
I'll sponsor you. I mean, if you're going to get serious, I thought you were serious. That's why you're on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to run him in the retriever test, too. I'm going to buy a black lab outfit for him.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see you do that in the future if you're interested. I totally get it. Like, it is a lot of money.
Well, when you ran Tank here a few years ago on the island, I remember you commenting, and that was a national event, how happy you were it was close.
Yeah. And now this year it's in Ontario.
Okay.
And both him and Memphis are qualified.
Oh, nice.
So we'll go to that one. I'll put it to you this way. When I first kind of got going and I had Otter, I ran one national with her. Mm-hmm. And now, at this point, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, and I'm not going to say that I regret this, but I do wish that I would have ran more with her.
Really?
Yeah. When it was in Quebec, your mindset right now is the mindset that I had. I was
Really?
it's up there in Quebec.
Yeah.
And look, man, I had a dog that would have done it.
Yeah.
You know, as a handler, if I would have gone out and done it more, I would have made better decisions. I had the dog to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, geez, I couldn't go to Quebec to go to an event. You know, I'd be there for a week, and now I'm like, shit, that's the level. That's the level I want to not compete, because it's not a competition, but that to put it that way, that's the level I want to train at.
Well, and I don't look at it like when I go to these tests. I mean, I do like to pass and get good scores, but my mind frame is like, I know the potential that these dogs have.
Sure.
And that's what I want to see. Like, I'm almost happy for the dog more than, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing for me. It is, but it isn't.
Well, and the other thing is too, when I think about you and this, like I honestly, I get where you're at. I literally, at that point in my training career, I felt the same way. Mm-hmm. I was like, it'd be a lot of money. It'd be gone there for a week, and I'm not super interested. I said that I wasn't interested in field trials at the time either.
Really?
No. I was like, I don't really see any value in that. You can talk to Wes. He's like, you ever think you'll ever run a field trial? I'm like, probably not, man. I'm not super interested in that. And now at this point, I'm like, shit, I have dogs to run field trials, you know.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I really enjoy it. Like we run a bunch every year. You know, it's an interesting game. It's a tough game to be super competitive in if you're not training 12 months a year.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go, but it is fun. You know, we train, when you train hard, you want to always try to challenge yourself.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say about the national is or your invitational is that one thing about it, when you have good dogs, they're only here for a short time.
Right.
And so are we.
Yeah.
And when you go to an event like that, it's a pretty prestigious event. Mm-hmm. Like when we hold a national here in Canada, or they hold one anywhere, it's like they do
opening ceremony.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. When you go to the national, they do an opening ceremony, and they present you with your number, and they call your dog's they call your dog's name out, and you go up and they give you your penny with your number on it, and they give you a bag, and it's got your number on the hat and stuff like that, and all the information.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Oh yeah, it's really something. Yeah. And I remember saying to myself, like, you know, I'm probably never going to do that. And,
really?
And it came to Nova Scotia, and really at the time I couldn't even at that time really appreciate what it was. Mm-hmm. You know, and I ran 2 dogs in it, and we made it to day 4 of 5. We went out, both dogs went out on day 4, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. You know, when I think about training now, like with Reaper, like my mindset is so different, because I'm like, it used to be, okay, well, I want to get this dog to where they're at a junior level, and then I'll really work hard to get on the senior level. And now I'm more like, I want a dog I can pass the national with.
Yeah.
What are the tenets of a dog? What are the skills this dog's going to need to be able to last a week at the national and not make too many mistakes
Right.
that we don't
it's pretty crazy.
slowly bleed out and not get enough points. You know, and there's a lot of things that come along with that, right? Being able to handle being on a truck for a week and being at a test environment for a week.
That's a different environment than you've ever been in.
Yeah. And when I think about that, I'm like, really, you know, I should never, my mindset now is I'll never run a senior test until I'm pretty much ready to run master. You know, or whatever, the next level up.
Yeah.
And there's no rush to that. I'll do it we'll do it when we're ready. And my goal now more so is to work on the skills that I'll need to pass a national. And there's really been very few people here from the Maritimes ever pass.
Really?
Yeah, a handful. And you know, we're getting better here now, but it's just, you know, you just have one bad bird, man.
Right.
There's a lot of birds you got to pick up over a week.
Yep.
And your first one's got to be as good as your last one.
I always trained, like you said too. So when I was training for the gun dog test, the gun dog test was that year, but I was training for the utility test in our plan, you know, like I always like to keep it realistic, but still set the bar where it's attainable. And to me, that was like, if he can do this level, then he should be able to pass a level prior, like before that.
And it just pushes you. It gives you, you know, everybody kind of needs a target. You know, it's more about your system, and those targets or goals are things that I feel we're going to achieve as a result of having a good system or program that you're following up through step by step, right?
Yeah.
Those titles or goals or achievements that we reach along the way are just sort of going to be a product of that. And that's what's important to me, because then you don't really get gold medal syndrome, right?
Yeah.
We're not thinking about, well, you know, I'll be happy once I get a senior title. You know, like I'm thinking about, these are the skills that I'm going to need and that I need to create and progress with throughout this dog's life to be a national contender.
Yeah.
Right. And then along the way, because you're doing those things well and you're being consistent, you get a junior, then you get a senior, then you get a master, and your dog looks good. Like when you're talking about going to these tests and saying, yeah, they really don't want you to nag your dog when you're out there. Like, really, if you come up to the line and the judges are sitting there and you do the test with your dog and they do a nice job, you know, like they do a nice job. Like you're not out there hollering at them. And when you speak to them, they listen most of the time. Like they do what you ask them to do. That's the point.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the point.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we are taking them hunting. That the tests are awesome and they're fun.
Yeah.
And they give you goals, but we're hunting our dogs.
That's that a dog you'd want to hunt with?
Right.
Yeah. And can you imagine hunting with that dog? And for me, there's nothing in it for me to show up barely ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, my dog's not really ready for this, but we're going to do it anyway. Like there's no value for me personally.
Yeah.
It's everybody's own journey, whatever you want to do, no judgment there whatsoever. But for me personally, there's no value to show up to a master test when my dog is not ready.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be ready. When I go there, my dog will have been doing the work and should be in the best position can be possible to pass.
Yeah.
5 in a row.
I mean, to me, like that just seems like normal. Right? Like
right. That's your standard.
Yeah.
Though.
Like I don't want to push to be average.
Right.
Or to just get by, you know?
Yeah, that's why you need to go to the Invitational, Lander.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's up those goals. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. I won't lie to you. I definitely remember saying that I would probably never run a field trial. I'm like, you know, it seems like a lot of work and it'd be hard to compete in that. And I don't know whether I'm really interested. Now at this point in my career, I'm just like, yeah, I love running field trials. I do. I mean, I've gone to field trials and had like a real bad land series, like not great. And then come to the water and just smash it.
Really?
And then a couple of people ahead of me that were doing good, their dogs blew up. I'm like, holy shit, we're moving up in the ranks here pretty damn quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like guys
awesome.
that are, you know, some of the better pros in the country were there. And I'm like, shit, I mean, great to see these guys. I know they do this all year.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just here for my own dog, and, you know,
It's always fun to meet people at all those events too, or to be part of like NAVDA or your retriever club or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it is fun. I mean,
oh, for sure. I mean, it's all like-minded people.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're at a field trial, like, as soon as they basically call the first dog, you're not friends anymore until the end of the day. But you are, but you aren't. I mean, the one thing I like about dog training in general is that, and I'll probably speak for the versatile dog arena too, is that one of my mentors and people that I know and love and think a lot of is Lauren Longevin. And Lauren's 81 years old, still travels down to Alabama.
wow.
And trains down there every winter. He's got 8 dogs on his truck, and
Loves it.
yeah, sharp as a tack, able-bodied, and hell of a good trainer. And there's a lot of other people down there that are carrying on throughout their life as well, and a little older, and keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to check out the Maritime Bird Dog Club has a trial coming up here.
Do they?
Yeah, down in McAdam.
I've never watched one of those.
No, neither have I. So one thing they've been doing is having like I don't know what they call it. I mean, if it's continental breeds or the gun dog breeds or whatever, but like outside of the pointers and setters.
Okay.
So like the Griffs and the German short hairs and all that stuff, they're gonna have a run set specifically for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go down and participate. And
Yeah, you should.
I'm not really sure what to expect, but I think it's important to support the clubs around like that. And it's like I was just saying, it's a great place to go meet more people. And like you can't hang out around people who are good with their dogs and not learn something.
Yeah, and so many times, like I'm gonna just carry on with what you said. Support a local event, because I went to that duck and goose calling contest in Halifax.
Right.
We haven't been to one, had one in a long time, and went down there, and there was a bunch of new guys that came out to do that, and I think there was 7 or 8 in each category, which is fine enough. And but there was probably double that amount that thought that they might want to come, but anyway, didn't come for whatever reason. And I just always say, like, all you got to do is show up. Show up, do it. You're sure you're going to be nervous, but you're really going to enjoy yourself. Like you're gonna have a great time doing it.
Take that first step.
Yeah, just take that first step. Go out and do it. No expectations. You know, you're not going to. You know.
Yeah.
You might be embarrassed, but everybody starts somewhere, right?
Yeah, and it's okay to not succeed once in a while. It happens.
Right, and the reason that you take that step, even if you are nervous, is so that you can support that event.
Yep. They were talking about this as well when we did our last podcast. We had Robert Little up.
Oh, yeah.
Through Northeast Upland, we had Robert Little up, and you mentioned about bringing out the younger people.
Yeah.
So the same thing for that competition coming up down in McAdam. If you have a young person or thinking about getting a bird dog, come check it out. There's no cost. Just come watch the dogs and talk to people. You never know. It could be something that you absolutely fall in love with, and it just takes a little bit of time. Go check it out.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if they're willing to have some people like that, you know, come along and sort of open to the public, like getting the youth out and getting them involved in things like that, and having people around that are willing to mentor them, you know, like it's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. And I mean,
It's pretty special too when you take, like, when people, speaking of the pointing dogs, it's pretty special when people see dogs work like that,
do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. It is, and it's just awesome. From guiding last year, I mean, Wes had some clients in that had their own dogs, or they've hunted over dogs, but he also had some in who never did.
Right.
And to see their reaction, and I'm like, this is how I feel every time.
Yeah.
My dog points a bird.
Yeah,
it
man.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. And I always said that too, that, you know, especially when I guided out west, I would oftentimes have guys that either possibly hunted over a dog or never hunted over a very well-trained dog.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even guys that came along that didn't pay attention or maybe weren't dog people,
Yeah.
by day 2, they
Loved
were
it.
like, man, that friggin' dog is like, I love watching the
It
dog
is
go
crazy.
do its thing.
It is crazy. When you were talking about the field trials earlier, I was going to say, like, to watch you send a dog across the field and it go in a straight line is mind-blowing, really.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
to just see that dog, like, know what I wanted, to know what you want him to do, and then you can handle him. It's unbelievable to see.
Yeah, and when you think about the fact that just generations of dogs have been bred
Yeah.
for that purpose, and you're allowing that dog through education to live what it was meant to do.
Right.
You know, it's like a wrench that turns a nut. That's its whole
Yeah.
life, you know?
Yeah. And it loves every second.
Yeah, man. And to watch a dog, and it doesn't matter what I'm training, whether it's obedience or service dogs or, you know, retrievers, to see a dog reach its potential is always a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Right. And not every dog is the same, but certainly in what we do working with dogs, like most people that own a dog, it's just going to be a pet.
Mm-hmm.
And for us and for what we do working with them, you can't really explain what they do. You know, you can say, hey, my dog will go out and they'll find a bird and they'll point it. But there's so much other work
Yeah, for sure.
that goes into that. And then we'll flush it and shoot, and the dog is steady and stands there and watches, and then it'll go get it, bring it or whatever. Like,
you can explain it, but when you experience it, it's completely different.
oh yeah, people
Completely
will stand
different.
there and be like, oh, that sounds really cool, until they're out and they're like, holy shit, that dog went
Yeah.
out and got a bird and brought it back.
Yeah.
You know,
I was out with one of my buddies who doesn't have a dog, and he is getting one, actually, a bird dog.
right.
I was out with him
Nice.
Monday evening, just seeing what was around. Had the dog, had my Griff out, seeing if there's any woodcock back, and he had pointed a couple, so my buddy got to see that. He's like, unbelievable, it's just unbelievable. And I was just starting to say, you should see, it's pretty cool when my dog goes on point. I'll get a notification, and he could be like 150 yards away, and right then I got a notification. My dog was on point 207 yards away. And I was like, this is just wild. Like,
Yeah.
even if I was by myself, this is still so cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the both of us walked, and he's like, well, how far have we gone now? I said, he's still 150 yards. You're kidding me. So we kept walking, and when we got to my dog, and we were walking through snow, so I mean, like, it just wasn't a quick trip through a field. We were walking through snowy woods.
Right.
And get up to him, and he was locked solid. And I mean, it just gives me chills still to think about it. Like, I don't need to shoot a bird.
Right.
But to see that, it was so awesome. I walked ahead of the dog and flushed the bird. And like, that's what this trial will be like
Right.
coming up. Well, for anybody who might want to go check it out, it's so awesome.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, for me, I mean, people have often said, I actually had this conversation with a guy yesterday, and he's do you get burnout from hunting every day like that? Like, do you find that you don't want to go yourself? And I'm like, no. No,
Yeah.
actually, it's the opposite. Like, I might have a problem. I'm not sure, but I got it figured out.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I'm like, you know, for me, everybody goes through seasons, literally and figuratively. I've said that on here quite a bit. And one of the things that makes it manageable for me is I train my dogs all year, you know, to run hunt tests and field trials, sure. But the big show is hunting season. And when I get to take my dogs out and hunt with them, and they make wicked retrieves or memorable things, like, I know every one of those that happens, even if it's just sort of a mundane retrieve, but especially the big ones or the good ones, the memorable ones, like, there's going to be many of them that I won't remember. But the guys that are in that blind will never forget.
Exactly.
And I'm going to hear about them again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're going to have it on video. But at the same time, running my dog like a lot of times, even when it's just us and I'm not guiding, like my gun might be out of the case, but I don't know. I don't, it's just fine to shoot them. I like shooting them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm fine not to shoot too.
Yeah.
Like I just absolutely love running my dogs, you know?
And it's pretty special to experience a friend or a colleague, somebody else who has a dog, watch their dog succeed on a hunt too. Like that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Even training, like if I've had somebody out who's had like a pup and they get a bird dog pup, but if you don't have birds and you might not ever see but the first time they see it go on point, like, it's pretty cool to see that, like the handler or the owner and the dog.
Oh yeah. Well, especially at a young age too. Like they're so friggin' young when they start pointing some of them, right?
Yep.
Like for me, I don't care what your dog does. It could be, people will, again, I go back to the obedience. Like people, I had one client that could, she would shoot her dog with an imaginary gun, bang, and he'd like fall over and he'd be all stiff like she shot him. And I'm like, that's the friggin', and I've seen other really cool tricks too. And I'm like, that's the coolest thing that you taught your dog to do that. Like my dogs don't do that.
No.
They do other things that I can't explain to you that are really cool.
I know.
But that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when we went hunting with Robert that time, and we got back to the trucks, and his friggin' dog blew past us and went over and pointed that bird basically in the ditch.
Yeah.
I was like, Robert, your dog's on point over there. And I'm like, you think there'd be a bird there? And he's like, he normally wouldn't be pointing if there wasn't. I'm like, I never would have thought. We would have got in that truck and drove away.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, there was a bird there, and Rowan went over, and the friggin' dog, like I don't know, somebody flushed the bird, or I don't know if his do. I can't remember that much.
No, I think Robert flushed it.
Flushed it, yeah. He flushed it out of there, and it come out, and Rowan shot it, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because you were at the trucks, and I remember that.
Yeah, I was standing by the truck. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, there is a bird there. And then the friggin' thing went up over the hill and basically pointed another one in a rock pile, and I'm like, we never would have found those birds. We wouldn't
definitely
even.
Not.
We would not have even looked. Well, I wouldn't have looked there.
Well, and why would you?
Why would you? Yeah. I have no idea. But anyway, that was super cool. I mean, just the fact that they have such an ability to know and thrive at their job.
Yeah.
And they don't know why, but that's their job, right? My job is to find game.
Oh, it's crazy.
And point.
Unreal. And they love it.
Yeah.
It literally is what they live for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I have such a tremendous amount of respect for that and their breeding and their bloodlines and that being their thing, just through years and years and years of selective breeding, that when they come out of the womb, like Reaper here the other day, like he's been hearing geese out and around and whatever, and of course he's just a baby, right? He's just 5 months here now, and sitting on the couch here the other day, we were watching one of our shows, and he was sitting there watching. You could see him turning his head and watching the dog on there, and listening to them shoot and listening to the sounds, and I'm like, he knows.
Yeah.
Like something, his ancestors are screaming at him like, you should like this.
Yes. There's a reason why you're feeling this way.
Yeah. And he's not even really experienced that yet, on a real scale.
Yeah.
He hears the birds flying over the house here, and he's like, what the hell is this all about? But he doesn't act that way with other birds. Like, really? Like he'll hear a crow or whatever, but he doesn't like freak out about it.
Yeah.
But when he hears waterfowl, he's like, holy shit. For some reason, my ancestors are screaming that I should pay attention to that, Yeah. But anyway, it's, I just love any dog that does its thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of what the job is.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. So what's next for you? You're thinking of helping some people, training some dogs here?
Yeah, get them on, help them out. I mean, a lot of people don't really know where to start. It's really no different than anything with the dog, obedience, retrieving.
And versatile dogs specifically.
So versatile dogs specifically. I mean, if you want to train them to point, to retrieve, to track, or if you want to train them, it could help get prepared for a NAVTA test or CKC. Just exposure basically, and kind of like a plan or a starting point. I mean, it is quite intimidating if you're not really sure what to do. And especially if you don't have any of the gear or knowledge. I mean, you always want to start your dog down the best road you can. I mean, it's just like you always say, get that foundation started properly, and then you build up from there.
Well, and if you're somebody that can teach and mentor people, which you can, that's what people need.
Yeah.
Like, you'll make the sport so much better for passing on the knowledge that you have. And it's like I said to you in that message the other day, the thing that a pro has over an amateur is the fact that they get their hands on so many more dogs, you know.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Your dogs, if you have two as an amateur, you're putting all your time and effort into those two dogs, and those two dogs are going to be awesome, right? Whereas a pro has the time, he's doing it full time, but he's doing it over a large amount of dogs, and he's getting to see a lot of different dogs. So what you're going to learn with working with a whole bunch of different dogs in the next few years, like you're going to get years and years worth of knowledge in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Different breeds, different temperaments, different issues.
There's so many variables.
Different hurdles. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have your one or two dogs, you know what makes them tick, you know how they are. And then, you know, say you do even 6 lessons in a week, 6 different dogs. Like, shit, you're going to learn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Problems that you haven't run into, you're going to have to navigate and cipher, you know. Yeah, you'll just be able to put people on the right path, and that's what people need, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To participate, and hopefully...
I've had a lot of fun even working with friends, and I've had different people reach out to me over the years and say, you know, can I come and pick your brain or whatever?
Yeah.
And I mean, it always just... It is good. I mean, I learn a lot. They learn a lot.
Yeah,
and that's what it's all about. I mean, I want to always continue to learn and continue to get better. I mean, it's not something you'd ever master by any means, but
I often say that dog training is a practice. You know, we're never done. Any good handler should be a student of this game for life.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
If I'm trying to do something with my dog on whatever level it is. And you're doing the same thing, and your dog's doing it flawlessly, and I've been training dogs for 25 years, and you just started. I want to be the first one to know how you did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no pride in that. We're all trying to do this.
Yeah, I mean,
to make better dogs.
It's not a win-lose thing. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win thing. So, and that's very much how even Lauren himself will say, you know, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've learned a lot, but I'm always going to be a student of this game, and he is, and I really respect that about him, that he's always looking to others to help him get better.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, being a student of the game. I mean, the people that think they know everything will never learn anything.
No.
There's always, you know, we're trying to always make things more efficient and get better and use better methods, and you see that certainly in my arena with the retrievers, just on, you know, the sports science of their health and things like that we're looking into more, and it's helping them live longer and be healthier. And
good.
You know, those are big things amongst a host of other things. But yeah, we definitely always, you're right, want to be a student of the game, and this is going to make you better. And people need mentors, right? Like when you started out, there probably wasn't a lot of people around here to help you.
No. None.
Yeah, we don't
None
have
that I knew of, yeah.
No, we don't have that in this. Like north of Fredericton, you're not going to find people training dogs.
No. And,
not much.
And I think that there's a lot of people who have a really big desire to, like, who'd have dogs to make them into, like, the best they can be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they just need a chance.
Right. Get that starting point.
Because I say this all the time, too. I'm like, there's no lack of dogs, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of dogs around. There's lots of people that have dogs that want to hunt with them. And if you could, I mean, you can't obviously make them come out, but if they have the opportunity, and it's like, hey, I do private lessons 1 day a week. I'm going to do a group lesson. It'll be a little bit cheaper for you or whatever. People come out, they're going to learn something.
Yeah.
They're going to they'll be a little bit better, you know. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
You can either reach out over Facebook, I would say, Messenger.
Okay.
And from there, I guess I'll give you my phone number, text.
And is it still Andrew the Hammer Davenport, or did you take that part out?
No, I took it out and I put in I Love Kittens with LUV.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Goes along with you.
Andrew Davenport on Facebook and North Upland on Instagram.
Yeah. Reach out to him, guys. I think it's a great opportunity for the people that have versatile dogs. Would you help people with pointers too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Good for you.
It's obviously, Robert's in the game and very much into the game. So, but some people could live up my way and
right.
Sure. Want to take advantage of a little bit less travel if they want to do that, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. I really think that's going to be huge. When you said you were going to do that, I was like, shit, that's going to be such a good service.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like I say Robert, but like I've learned a lot training with you too, not necessarily where you've specifically went out to teach me stuff.
Yeah.
But your mannerisms and how you talk to the dogs when they're at the line and how you handle them. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean,
yeah,
you don't know it until you've experienced the other, like people yelling at their dogs or like, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that, how you're like that when we're out training. I mean, it shows a lot and it's very addictive.
I say when I'm teaching any client that I don't do this so that I can yell at dogs all day long. Yeah. I'm just not going to do it. I wouldn't enjoy that, I don't like yelling in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No.
Except at your kids.
Yeah, that's just my kids.
Yeah. That's an important part of life.
Just mostly Matea. Yeah. But yeah, I don't like doing that in my, we'll say my human everyday life, and I really don't want to do it in my dog training life either. And a huge part of that for me is, high support and high standards. I hold myself to a high standard as a handler. I take ownership for all my dog's behavior, and I make training, basics, especially obedience, a way of life, because really that's, when it comes down to it, that's all the things that your dog does when they're right beside you.
Yeah, for sure. Obedience and taking ownership is massive. And I've learned over the last few years, like when something doesn't go as I plan, I step back.
Yeah.
And
slow down.
I have a plan when I go into each day training. If it works out, what am I going to do?
Right.
But if it doesn't work out, what am I going to do?
Right.
And to me, that's been very beneficial, having that plan, because the alternative could be to get frustrated, and that carries through right to your dog. And, you want to end positive where you can, right?
Well, and one of the big things about it is too, like if you're somebody that, I obviously didn't always do this for a living. And when I did work, what my buddy Jeff Coates would say is a real job. I would come home after work and I would get my dog and go training. Well, everybody has lots that happens to them throughout the day. And we always want to remember as a rule that none of what happens to you throughout the day at your job or your relationship or what's going on with the kids or whatever, none of that may cause you to be easily frustrated is your dog's fault. See, you always have to show up for your dog. When you take your dog out training, you have to be as good as you expect the dog to be first.
Absolutely.
Show up, and that includes, like you say, knowing where you're going to go, knowing what the plan is, having the right equipment, and having a total worked out plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to do it. This is how much time I'm going to spend on it, and I have all the right equipment to do it. And it's in line with where my dog is in my program.
Right. And then it's a win-win even if you're not successful, right?
Right. Yeah. And then we adjust.
Yeah.
I've definitely had days where I sent a dog for a bird and I was like, okay, this dog did not show up to train with me. And rather than getting frustrated and screaming and hollering, I'm like, what I had planned isn't going to work today. We're not going to progress. We're going to have to simplify the task as far down as we have to try to get a win here today.
Yep.
And make this dog successful. Because you brought up a great point there. We all want the needle to move, right? Sometimes we measure progress with a meter stick. Other days we measure it with a microscope. And nobody wants to really ever pump the brakes. But I'll tell you, if you shove the gas on days where things aren't going well,
you're going further behind.
You're going further behind. Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to spin out.
Yeah. It's usually just one step back, like a very minor step back, but it's so worth it.
Rex Carr had a quote, and it's one of my favorite quotes. And actually, one of my other mentors, Walter Vesey, who's an excellent retriever trainer, very successful from Prince Edward Island, and a super good friend of mine, brother. He has this down in his, I guess you could call it a man cave, downstairs there. He has this put on the wall, this quote from Rex Carr, and it says, fundamentals are the foundation to our success. Practice them often. And that's key. Basics, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
He had a lot of good quotes. I should read some more of them, actually. You must have self-confidence. It's vital for success. These are all Rex Carr quotes, and Rex Carr was like the godfather of retriever training. Most people reference Rex. You have to believe that you can and will win every trial and every national. So, manifestation. You must learn to accept and make changes. Our sport demands it. You must never stop dreaming big. Your success hinges on it. Andrew. Okay?
Invitational.
That's right. Okay? Always do what's right with dogs and people. Always be fair to dogs and people. Always do the best you can. Do not accept mediocrity. There you go. That's what you said here a little while ago. This is one of my favorites as well. Nothing can lull you to sleep and cause complacency like success can and does. Gold medal syndrome we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
So, don't limit yourself to where a sport is now. Think beyond that into the future. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Are you committed to excellence? You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. That's the last one. So, yeah, he had a lot of good quotes. Rex was an excellent retriever trainer, but the quote about fundamentals, that's a super good quote, and it just kind of went along with what we were saying about how we don't want to go back to things like that. We want to go out and do all the fun stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's key, right? Being able to go back.
Yeah, no question.
And it seems like the more advanced you are as a trainer, the more acceptable that is. But if you're new at it, that's when you make mistakes. You push on those tough days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I really wanted to go out today and teach my dog a double, but he's having trouble picking up a single. Should I throw that double? Maybe not.
Maybe we'll go with teach him to shake a paw.
Yeah, maybe we'll teach him to shake a paw. Yeah. Anything else, Andrew? Anything? We've been going here for an hour and 40 minutes.
No, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's been nice to come down and chat with you for sure.
Yeah, man. I think we could probably talk for another 2 hours about dogs. But look, man, as one dog man to another, I got a lot of respect for you. I think what you do with dogs is great. You're a good dog man, and I always praise you up when people are talking about that stuff. And I know you're going to do well with this. I know that a lot of people are going to, come down and use you and get a lot of help from you. And for me, the thing that I'm most excited about for you is to see where you're at a year from now, how much you're going to learn this year.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I've sent a lot of people your way as well. Every time somebody asks, it's definitely call Matt.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot, and you haven't even tried to teach me anything.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. We'll definitely get out and train some this summer.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
See if we can get one of your labs to point a bird.
I actually trained a pointing lab one time.
Really?
And when he was little, I had him as a puppy. And when he was 10 weeks old, I have pictures of him pointing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like he was like
Funny.
paw lifted up, front paw lifted up, pointing like super nice point. And I was like, shit, we could, because his dad was like a, what do they call that? A retriever pointer? Like a, I don't know. I can't remember what it is now. I've been out of that part of things for so long, but he was super good.
Really?
Yeah, he was like a lab pointing champion.
Wow.
Down in the States. I guess that's the thing.
I've never seen one.
No?
No.
I'll find the picture and send it to you, but he was rock solid. Like he would, for about a 2-week period there, he pointed like crazy. And I'm like, if I knew or if we wanted to do this, like he pointed at it, all kinds of stuff. And I did get a good picture of him there one day. He just was pointing at a stick, but I'm like, this was in them.
Yeah.
You know, really. And we kind of bred it out of them.
Yeah.
Not to do that, like point before you pants or whatever. But it was pretty cool. Yeah, he's quite a dog. Yeah. But that dog ended up getting Lyme disease.
Really?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Anyways, he had a good career.
Good.
He's still rolling. A lot of them tend to get that. I know where I train down in Connecticut, there's a shitload of it.
I bet. Yeah, I've been seeing more and more of that on different Facebook groups and stuff like that.
I meant to ask you that. That was one thing. Do you notice much for ticks now?
Knock on wood.
On your dogs?
I haven't, but I do know people who have for sure. I mean, most people who have bird dogs, I mean, that get out any amount have had them.
Yeah.
I know, like Nova Scotia even had them quite bad, and we were down there pheasant hunting last year and we did the Brevecto for tick prevention and
the 3-monther.
Yeah, and we also put like the 1 month the drops on the dog's back of their neck.
So Brian O'Regan sent me a question for you. Brian was a super good client of mine. He's got an excellent dog.
Gordon Setter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he's done a hell of a job with that dog. When he was coming up here for retriever training lessons, he was just flying through the program like super good.
Wow.
He's a good dog, man. Does a great job with that dog. But his question was, does one have to suffer to have both? I know one will likely be better as far as like pointing and retrieving. But he said, Finn's a great retriever, and his uplaying game lacks a bit, mostly because I can take him on any given day to train retrieves. But when you get to the meat and potatoes of upland, it's exposure to live birds, and I don't have access to that the way I do retrieves. You know, it would be a little bit easier if you don't have birds.
Yeah,
so what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think one would have to slack. No, I mean, you don't have to give up on one to have both by any means. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of NAVDA and CKC and the versatile dogs in general. So, I mean, if you try to maybe take a versatile dog and turn it into a hunt test or hunt trials where you spend too much time handling the dog and it getting out of the normal searching using its nose. I mean, I've often thought there could be some crossover there that might not help out that great
on the higher level stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, I would almost think for Gordon Setter, like, it's pretty impressive. He's as good as what he is. You know what I mean, for retrieving. So I would expect he would have been better at pointing. So I mean, that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
and I mean, he. Like I said, he puts a lot of time into his dog, and I know when he comes up and trains with you, you're gonna see that he's a pretty intelligent dog.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what you have to do is the time, the investment. I mean, it's not that you have to do hours every day, but the consistency.
Yeah. Well, and once he gets a little more information from you, I think, and you put him on the path, he'll be.
Yeah, get some live birds.
I was shocked at how well he came through that program. Like
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. We talked about it. I was like, holy shit, you should see this Gordon Setter. You know, it was like he read the book the night before.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna do this. Yeah, I read the book there last night. I saw the pictures. We'll go out and do that. Yeah, stop on the whistle, handle. Like he does a great job.
And he like likes it.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Nice.
Yeah, shit. Retrieve. Yeah, he's a fiend.
Wow.
Really.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, no, that's great. He'll appreciate you answering that. So Anyway, if you got nothing else, man.
No, I think I'm good. It's been a good chat for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to do it again.
Yep.
Sounds good, brother.